released of cords and karmic stories and karmic cords, karmic messes, karmic sludge, karmic just stories and impressions that people have impaled, their intentions on you. And my teams and I and God have been working so much to clear and refine, clear and refine, clear and refine. So my body and my chakra systems finally feel clear, and having all of those old stories close out. So I'm really excited to now offer in new energies, really offering in new excitements and new teams and new experiences and new beings, new people to play with, new energies to play with. So we're really excited. Finally feel like I have my body back. And why it's been really important that I state my who I am with my new desire and my new stories, and not returning to any past stories, no past cycles, no past people. Everything is being closed out. Sending the past with love and honor. Thank you for the soul lessons, and everything is getting closed and just pulled up. Those they're like threads. Old story threads are being pulled out. That's how the vibrational timelines work. Healing those old timelines are pulling those cords and pulling those threads of the stories and the monotony of those dense stories, culling them out from your systems of your multidimensional allness, because you're this beautiful oscillating beehive of creative stories, and they're all vibrational threads. And so as you're moving through your ascension and clearing out those stories, your teams are you working with your teams with intention to pull those vibrational karmic stories out of your timeline, pull them out of where you're going, pull them out of your physical, mental, emotional, etheric, sexual experiences, and just pull those old stories and those old narratives. And they can include mental imprints, emotional imprints, sexual imprints, spiritual imprints, because everything is energy and everything is moving, like we said last week about the harmonics. When you have any type of a sound or a note in your field that leaves kind of like a little imprint, like a fingerprint, and those have to be culled and cleared away. So that's why it's really important daily to just check in and harmonize with all that you are as a divine being of light, and do your breath work, call in your soul fragments, call in your higher self and your soul. Open up your soul star chakra so that you're working, and your earth star chakras, so you're working with your specific teams, you're working with your guides, you're working with your ancestors, and they're all in working cohesion with you to help you release any cords, threads, imprints, densities, blockages, traumas, working with whatever is the most important at that time. Because as you're moving through this wave of cosmic soup, you're going to have different things that are activated or triggered. And so it'll always be the most important thing that is in front of you that you're meant to kind of accept and acknowledge. Work into your now story and harmonize it through acceptance. And that means that will bring you new gifts, it will bring you new wisdoms, it will bring you new intelligences, because everything that is there, whether it's a dark or a light, it's teaching you and it's helping you honor the depths and the widths and the expansiveness of who you are. So just know that. It doesn't matter what it might appear to be in front of you, it's offering you the infinite of what God is. That's called the divine relationship. There's a divine relationship within everything. So it's just a matter of you harmonizing within the center of who you are, and in this heart chakra space center, you're able to pull out that divine relationship because it is within everything before you. And sometimes we often judge anything that's before us, especially if it's uncomfortable, or it might be a loss or a damage to be, not serving us because it's negative, but everything negative serves us. So everything before you, you can perceive now to serve you. And that will allow the flow of the energy and to move the energy much more easily. So fear nothing. Have everything in front of you be a beautiful story of divine relationship. And that, whether it seems to be negative or you're judging it as negative or perceiving it as negative, you can allow that just to open up and say, everything is here. It has a divine relationship within it. What is this here to show me? So that you can allow that acceptance in and allow the energy to move. Because we've tended to, because we've been so steeped in density, we have just basically judged everything negative as a negative experience, and it shuts down the process of allowing the fullest divine relationship, the fullest wisdom of expansion to move through your multidimensional bodies and experiences. So anything that is before you, regardless of how your ego might want to judge it or title it or term it, everything is positive experience for you. You can choose to see it that way. Change your story to a positive experience to how it can serve you, and really pull up the lessons of whatever it might be, even if it's a loss, even if it's a damage, even if it's a destruction. Every destruction clears the way for a new beginning. Every destruction clears the way for new open possibilities and potentiations. So just know that. So today, what we were going to talk about, because I felt so light and so, airy in these beautiful new experiences, these beautiful new energies, we're going to talk about, and we've got all of the teams with us because I called in all of the teams and the angels. So just take a deep breath so that we're going to open all of our multidimensional portals and experiences. We're going to call in the soul. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Just take a deep breath, straighten your spine. And work with the codes of the sun. Work with the codes of the sun. I call in my unique codes of the sun. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm calling in divine codes. And every day you can work with a sun rising code. I'm just calling your codes for the day. Call in all the nourishment, the enhancement, all the blessings and benevolence that you're going to be offered that day in the sun. And just call them into your body, call them into your fields, call them into your heart, call them into your chakra systems. Call all that the sun offers you in nourishment and light, just as if you're a flower or anything that is nourishing on the planet. As far as photosynthesis, we all need the sun to breathe and to give light to ourselves and give light to our organs, give light to our multidimensional bodies, give light to who we are as spirit and source, give light to who we are as a co-creator with Gaia, with our collective, with the omnipresent. Thank you, Holy Spirit, galactic federations, councils of light, and the spirits of light. Thank you, Holy Spirits. Thank you, 12th dimensional creators. Just clearing away the throat. Just focus on your chakra systems and pull out any densities. Feel yourself being bathed with the divine holy light. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Bathe me with the Christed light. Thank you, Holy Spirit, releasing any cords and release any residue from any other stories that we've been hanging on to. Just release the residue through your intention, through your breath. Call in light. Feel yourself ground. Feel your chakras coming into alignment. Chakras coming into alignment. Feel yourself bathing with light. Feel yourself bathing with light. Feel yourself bathing with light and ground, 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 ground. And hold your hands up to receive. Your chakras are open to receive. Your chakras are open to receive. Your chakras are open to receive. Aramanakadadake shishiananakadadaka. Alamanakadadake sisiananakadadaka. Alamanake titake sisiananakadadaka. So we're just opening to the galactic chambers. Thank you, Holy Spirit, where all the councils meet and all the galactic federations meet. All of our celestial teams, all our alien teams, this multiverse species, the omnipresent species. So now we're just calling in the beautiful archangels. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit, and the angels for creating that space for us. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So just breathe in one more deep breath of light. Align your chakras, align your chakras, align your chakras, spine nice and straight. And then ground, 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 and feel yourself being bathed with light, bathed with light, bathed with light. And just with that beautiful heart, soft heart intention, free will. If you want to receive any codes, any wisdoms, any downloads in this session today, we're talking about creativity and synchronicity, manifesting in the 5D. And so if you want any codes or information from your celestial teams, they're all on standby. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Say this, now they're just saying, throat clearing. They're just transferring the podium over to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm so grateful. So today we're talking about synchronicity is the exact match to who you are as a creative being of light. So everything in creation, the more full that you are within yourself, and why we go through 3D. 3D are the woundings of all earthly lifetimes that we've had in separation. It is the farthest experience that we have in the galaxy, if you will, as far as our separation from source. We are an experimental planet that has been brought the farthest away from our knowing of who we are as source, and it's been a great experiment. And so in that reunion, the source and the God returning to God, a lot of throat chakra. And this is why too, because we're talking about synchronicities. Because the synchronicity actually means in and of itself as a multidimensional experience, as close as the fullness of you are in that experience of source, you're manifesting all that creation has available to you. Again, we talked about last week. When God offers those highest potentialities of whatever realm that you're sitting in, that platform. And that synchronicity is you acknowledging and accepting the fullness of yourself. So the more in love you are with yourself, the more that you're believing yourself to have all of the gifts and the skills and the talents that you have. And we're going to go into that in a second. The more that you're just accepting and allowing, even though you might not know the names of your gifts, you might not understand your gifts at this point because you've been brought up in a 3D experience. And nobody's ever told you how profound you are. Nobody's ever taught you how profound you are. Nobody's ever taught you about consciousness. Nobody's ever taught you how to work with your multidimensional bodies other than our channel and how you work and how you seek that outside of this channel. So really your perspective of yourself is quite limited. The more in fullness that you are in working with yourself, which is the path of ascension, allowing yourself to be dynamic and excited about who you are, exuberant in who you are, aligned with your highest vibration of excitement, aligned with your highest vibration of creativity, that is the fullness of your full self. If you're going to encapsulate it by percentages, 100% of acknowledging and accepting who you are is a vibrant, multidimensional, infinite being of creativity. Now, in that statement, you're then up to you to go within and seek what is your most highest creativity. And you'll feel it in the belly of your solar plexus. All of your chakras are open and aligned, and those creative juices come forward from the solar plexus. Your chakras all work together, really. And that's why if you have a blockage in one chakra, it will affect the other chakras. But usually in your highest creativity, when you do have that alignment with your higher self, all inspiration, all creative ideas come from the higher self. It is a gift from Source, Spirit, God, and they come within little packets of light, and that light enters into the multidimensional bodies and systems at the same time and is harmonious and synchronous with the activations that are in your multidimensional bodies. As you're clearing away the densities, you get that activation of light. It is equal to whatever you have cleared to whatever you're able to manifest as light, as you're allowing the light to flow through you, in and around you, in the full acceptance and excitement of who you are as you. The more you accept who you are, the more you love who you are, the more you're excited to look into the self of who you are, the excitement of how you're manifesting within your own self. You're manifesting synchronicities, you're manifesting opportunities. That is all the culmination of your now reality. So everything, the more you awaken, obviously you see, yes, I've manifested that. Yes, I manifested that. Yes, I manifested that. And as I said earlier, as you're awakening to everything before you serving you, everything before you being that version of God, then you can begin to rewrite that new story, is that everything now is serving you. Everything now is a part of your story. So you don't have to fear anything. It's just a matter of you aligning that narrative to say that, yes, this is serving me. This is why this is here. I'm learning how to be stronger. I'm learning how to be more creative. I'm learning how to be more in depth with my creative skills. Humanity in general has never been taught to fully live and rely within their creativity, because it's been an intuitive block that we've been squashed and numbed and dumbed down to, simply because of our social conformity, our social and dogmatic beliefs. I mean, it's just been conformed out of us. So our creativity is going to be this next cycle. In 2024, it's going to be a huge year for not only activating, healing, and remembrance of the divine and heavenly gifts. And what they were showing me is this center section here. It's kind of like a little thermometer, and I've got a little picture of it. And what they were showing me is that it's kind of like a meter of your soul's excitement. How excited are you to be you? And if you can go from 0 to 100%. As we're working through that 51% of karma, as you're clearing that away, that equal opportunity, because remember, source is always equal measure. Creation is always equal measure. Creation will always match you equally. Creation will always show you where your vibration is at. Creation will show you, are you accepting yourself? Are you being excited to be about who you are in life? And really that internal excitement, that internal partnership, that internal engagement, that internal entanglement with you as source and everything outside of you as source, it's the becoming of you as a creative being of creative light. And from here on out, that's what it will be. It will no longer be a story of the dark densities of old karmic dense stories. That will just merely pop up for you to acknowledge and accept and get creative again. So everything before you is a way that you can be more creative. As you see everything as a creative opportunity, as you see everything before you as divine opportunity, then that becomes your meter of soul nourishment, food, if you will. It's just like, as I said earlier, the photosynthesis. The light is nourishing us. The light is feeding us. And that meter tells us what we've cleared away, if you will, and what us as seers, conduits, and healers can do. Is they showed me one of some things that I'll be working with this year is the ability um, to read variances of light, which we worked with in the temples, because everything of natural order has light. So a plant has light, flowers have light, grass has light, beings have light, and then to read that variance of light, it's like a sheath of light, similar to reading aura, but not really. It's going to get more intricate because I've cleared away more of my, more of my meter. I've cleared away some of that meter of density, and now I'm accepting some deeper, wider, more, how shall you say that, Spirit? So they're just saying complex gifts of intuitive sensing is how to read and sense light in a more intricate manner. And so those are the gifts that have come with you in the multidimensional systems. We don't necessarily have words for them yet because we've operated in 3D. 3D doesn't have the words that we're talking about because they're not in the higher vibrations. These are entering into the 5th dimension where, as that meter of density gets cleared away, that 0 to 100%, 51% is about here. So if you've cleared 30 or 40%, you're going to be activating 30 or 40% of the DNA. The DNA has equal gifts, storylines, themes of those gifts in those timelines. But what they were showing, which is really cool, which we don't really think about, because again, we've never been here before. If you've opened an ancient Egyptian temple gift and you had a gift of, say, psychic reading, psychic reading of earth energy, of earth rocks, or earth stone, or earth magma, or earth soil, whatever it might be, that earth reading experience, because you brought it from another system, you brought it from another star system, you brought it from another planet, and you've done it here on many earth timelines. As you've cleared away the density and you're activating that gift that maybe sits at a 32%, 35%, you speak with Gaia, you have elemental energy, you have the fairy energy, you're activating that equal opportunity gift because creation is your equal opportunity. You clear away 30% of that karma, you're going to awaken 30% of your potentiality. The challenge and the trouble that the teams have had, that they've offered to me today, is that humanity has not been, because of their lack of sense of self and because of their lack of security and confidence, they haven't been claiming and owning those gifts. So they're not really working on them and nourishing them and feeding them and playing with them and practicing them. So part of the work that I do on this channel is allowing you to feel aligned and confident in who you are, that you do have these profound multidimensional gifts, and to continue practicing and working with them multidimensionally so that you can bring these gifts to the forefront and begin working with them. Because if you're wanting to be a 5D experience of an ascended experience, an ascended master, you cannot practice them in a 3D experience. Doing what you do in a 3D everyday day cannot allow you to awaken the 5D gifts. So you have to go into nature. You have to, pretend that you're creating a temple so that you can say, okay, teams, I've created my environment, my house as a temple. Once a week, I want to start working on my gifts, and really do that with your ascension path work. Set out one day a week where you're working with your temple gifts and you're really going within to work with those gifts in alignment with the universal laws, and really start working with your teams so that it's a practicum. Because back in the Egyptian times, when we were within the temples and as adepts or aspirants on a path, and we had our guides, if you will, that were helping us, each and every one of you are meant to be your own master, your own guide. So you're meant to explore your gifts, you're meant to practice them, and you're meant to bring them forward in a higher vibrational way so that you're really releasing the 3D ways you live life, releasing the 3D patterns, releasing the 3D habits, and really stepping into a 5D experience. And usually keeping yourself in an excited experience where one day a week you pretend that your house is a temple, and you have one room where you create that temple and those altars, and allowing yourself to practice and call in the specific teams like Isis and her guides and Green Tara, any of the goddesses that have profound temple experiences. And we haven't really had any goddesses in our modern day. Myself as a 5D goddess, I'm becoming, a matriarch of the 5D goddesshood, because I've, been initiated with the Pleiadian sisters, and the motherhoods and the sisters of the universe have initiated me. So I'm a modern day goddess, if you will. But we haven't had any since early Egyptian times of Isis. We haven't had any modern goddesses because they've all manifested themselves out of reality because it's been so damaging and so subjugatory and so suppressive and so submissive for divine feminine to come forward as goddesses. Everything within our magical essence of being source has been suppressed because of our system. So all of those are breaking away. They're really, really profound times. And every single person, because everybody has divine feminine, divine masculine energies, everyone has the potentials to reclaim those synchronistic, divine, sacred gifts from any of our timelines. So those of us that are brought forward, and again, remember your soul blueprint will connect with the various aspects of those gifts, and all of your gifts and all of your synchronicities along with those gifts, because your synchronicities are linked to the gifts. So you'll have a synchronicity that's going to come to you because you've just had that activation. Synchronicities align as the cosmic soup, as the cosmic bedding or the soil, if you will, but it comes from your heart pulsation. So synchronization is the excitement of you being you, the expression of you being you, the experience of you being you, and practicing your 5D experience, however that is, whether it's setting up your one room in your house as a temple and meditating and making notes and practicing, giving yourself that time to integrate, giving yourself time to activate, giving yourself time to look and observe and reflect upon how creation is mirroring back to you, your creatorhood, and working with specific guides that you want to work with. Because all of your gifts are going to have specific guides that you're going to be working with. So really tune into and open up to the guides that you want to connect with, and the ones that you really feel connected with. And they'll just come to you intuitively. The ones that you're really strongly connected with, have many lifetimes with. I've had many lifetimes with Isis. She's always with me in my energies. And with Merlin, he's one of my family, soul family. And Oscar Wilde, he's a poet he was a lot of his energy comes through in my writings. Rudolf Steiner, he's a part of my soul family. All of these beautiful energies of very intelligent beings, and Jesus, of course, and Mother Mary. So all of these energies are the ones that I pull on for my creative experiencing, and then practicing it in a 5D way. So whether it's going to a park and listening to the biosphere, listening to the Gaia energy, speaking with the water energy, using the water energy with you, and then making notes and then asking your guides for helps and hints so that you can improve practicing. Because again, 5D living is not going to be 3D living. We're going to be living much more within our ecosystem of ourself, the engagement of the ecosystem within ourselves, really understanding that our cells can be as healthy as we wish them to be. The brain is going to be remanifesting itself in a higher vibrational way. So I always suggest with my clients now, begin working with every night new health systems of affirmations, and really working with your teams to improve your health. The more that you can do at nighttime, and ask your teams to set up recalibration chambers for you, so that you can, you have to activate. They showed me you have to be the activator of your multidimensional bodies, especially the physical apparatus and how you behave during the day. Your teams can only do so much, and your multidimensional guides and all of the beings, you've got hundreds and hundreds of beings that would want to help you on this journey, but you have to be the one that stands up and says, I'm ready to have this activated. I've been watching my diet, I've been clearing this out. My intention is pure, my intention is excited. I can't wait to practice this new gift. I'm really excited to help children. I'm really excited to start artwork in a new way. Anything that you're really excited to explore that you know has been something within you since your childhood, those are the things that you're meant to bring forward in new creative 5D ways, and then level it up, because it has to do with your divine soul blueprint plan, and then the synchronicities follow. Excitement and synchronicity go hand in hand. The more full you are with you, the more excited you are with you, the more aligned and living in the vibrancy of who you are. Your heart pulsations, your multidimensional bodies are sending out these profound, pulses of light and excitement, and pulses of light and excitement. Your affirmations and your knowingness of who yourself, everything is aligned. Your version of you is pulsating this excitement out to creation. The synchronicities are just in the soup waiting for you. That is your equal measure playback, if you will. That's the reverberation of creation coming back to equal measure. So the more excited you are with being who you are, exploring who you are, expressing who you are, and then wanting to experience those new gifts, wanting to practice those new gifts, synchronicities just show up all over the place. That's why you never have to ever force anything or make anything. Again, that's all 3D, and you're letting go of those programs when you just don't even think about those things anymore. They're out of your consciousness. You don't have to think about what next, but you're wasting so much of your energy time. If you look at a 3D experience to 5D, 3D is, again, we've been talking about it for years. So many people have been doing spell work and abusing their energy, abusing power, and abusing everything to do with occult. There's been a huge purge because of the timelines where energy has been abused. Timelines have been abused. Planets have been destroyed because of abuse of energy and abuse of occult wisdoms. And they've been abused, you know, because of people have been so selfish. They've had so many woundings within themselves about their lack of self. They've been disconnected from spirit and source, and they've created this whole underground abuse of power, abuse of energy. And, you know, a lot of the human testing and how we're clearing those timelines is a lot of what we've been experiencing the last 6 years, if you will. That black magic stuff had to be purged and cleansed and cleared, because we're now coming into a balance of honoring and understanding, because now the towers are coming down and destructions are coming down because of the abuses. People have to see and they have to experience what they've done and what they've created for them to choose something new. So again, you're not going to know how energy can benefit you, how working with God and light and the alliance with light can work with you and for you, if all you've done is abuse energy and forcing and making and planning what you're going to do. The people that abuse occult energies, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on practitioners that are not aligned. So they're not even aligned with their higher selves. So what they're doing is a low vibrational spell or a low vibrational manipulation, calling in low vibrational entities. The monies and the times and the wasted and all of that built up energy has to go somewhere, and it has to do something. And so the teams and the ancestors are now dividing it equally and sending it back so that everybody gets their equal lessons in whatever way they need it. Again, Spirit's the only one that can distribute karma. Whether they wanted to control somebody, then that energy will be returned in a controlling way. And to be controlled is a number of things, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, or sexually. However, those energies were most prominent in their field to transcend. That's where their equal karma will come back. If it was greed and selfishness, if it was envy and jealousy, wherever that lack was within themselves, those returns will be equal so that they can see what they've manifested. But that's all the time and the energy and the wasting of money and the anxiety that creates obsession addictions. That's the separation of your spirited self, because you're not trusting in who you are. When you're going in and you're returning all your energy back to you, recalling all of your energy back to you, reclaiming who you are as a spirit, as a divine spirit, a divine creator, you're now manifesting from your highest version of yourself, and you're releasing all of those anxieties. You're trusting in whatever is pulsating from the divine experience of who you are physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This experience of who you are is the equal opportunity that's going to be returned to you. And then you just allow spirit and source to bring through your highest excitement. You know, within your daily affirmations, I just want to serve you, spirit. I walk as a prayer. Every moment I'm walking in synchronization with spirit. So spirit knows exactly what my excitements are. Spirit knows exactly where I want to move to. Spirit knows exactly what I want to experience. And then spirit will throw in something extra. That's synchronicity too. When spirit says, okay, Joanna, we want you to get this synchronicity because it's going to help you relax and think of, wow, I didn't even think about that, obviously, because that's what God wants, is to always surprise you. Spirit and creation are always going to surprise you, because you're meant to grow in those miraculous ways where, although you've sent out all of these pulsations of excitement to manifest and explore your gifts and be your gifts, be the vibrancy of you, be the excitement of you, be the expression of you, but God's going to send in little gifts on top of that, because they're always going to be beyond what you know, beyond what you think, because that's God. So it's always on top of, it's always like the cherry on top. But your job is to, again, release all the patterning, all of the experiences of habit and habituation, whether it's thinking, your patterns of how you eat and behave in your house. Create new patterns, like in the morning, set your house up, to kind of be like a little altar space for you and really work with your teams. And then throughout the day, give your little tasks so that you can start speaking to spirit and practicing your gifts in different ways. And then begin. That's what our vocational alignment sessions do. They help you step out of 3D and into your 4D experience, 5D experience, so that you can start manifesting from a higher space and really work with your teams in new and different ways by the tips and techniques that we teach you. And so synchronicity is the exact match of you being fully who you are. The more full that you are with yourself, the more full that you are in acceptance, acknowledgement, and allowance, then you're opening up the whole creation to open those opportunities of synchronicity. Anything that you're shut down, obsessing, suppressing, depressing, addictions, suppressions, all of those things are pushing down on the multidimensional vessel and who you are as a flowing being of light. So really practice letting go of anything that comes up as a fear, as a trauma, anything that you're obsessing or having addictions over. Resolve that, because they're just fears of not being fed, of not being nourished. And so that means building your sense of self. You're the only one that can nourish you with you in spirit. And then, of course, mother is always available to nourish you. That's her role as the mother, is to nourish her children. And so work with mother. If you've had a lot of mother wounding, call upon the mother for your mother healing. And you're meant to be, as the sacred child, the healing father and the healing mother of what your parents couldn't give you. You're meant to heal those traumas for them and carry the staff and the mantle for them, because they just didn't have it in them to do so. And so give them forgiveness, and then claim that for yourself, because they've given it to you. If they've caused you trauma, they've given you that equal opportunity to reclaim that strength and that honor, to claim and carry that staff. It's just a matter, we've never been taught those things. We've never been able to see those things. We carry around so much pain and anger and trauma about those abuses, and then we project them onto other people. That's why we've always said, heal your wounds so they don't become another's, so that you don't keep repeating the traumas and the cycles and the abuses from your parents, because you don't need to. They're giving those lessons to you so that you can claim that mantle and say, I've acknowledged it, I've accepted it, and I'm going to heal these through compassion and forgiveness. And so here's what they said. Their topic today was, thank you, Holy Spirit and Commander Ashtar, and my beautiful guides, thank you. So this is just the channeled notes that they had. So it's called Seizing the Moment. Is that which the perfect trust in who you are and the excitements that you have within creation. And so the excitement of who you are within creation, seizing that moment of all that you are in every moment. I'm seizing this moment. I'm going to grab that opportunity. And it's just allowance. And it's that hopeful expectation, that hopeful knowing that there's things in the vortex, if you will. And the master switch that creates new realms of becoming that are held within, and that which allows you to become more and more of who you are and who you've always been, but nobody's ever taught you, shown you, or told you. You've always had these miracles within you, within your DNA, within your multidimensional systems, the mechanisms of who you are. Your brain all gets, your brain, all of your prefrontal cortex, all that you are as a multidimensional being, everything has to be adjusted as those gifts get activated. So if you have a gift that is entering into 5D, you have to have all of your multidimensional systems that are manifested and enhanced and nourished in different ways. Everything gets activated in new ways when you get those new gifts. It's a multidimensional activation. Not one thing just gets activated. So it is an encompassment of all that you are. So they're saying that it is a master switch with all realms that you're now becoming, because you're carrying all of those realms, all of those experiences and all of those stories, so that now you can use that 5D gift. So again, as we said earlier, you're not going to abuse the energy. You're not going to abuse that gift. You're not going to, look into places where you don't need to look. Just because you can remote view doesn't mean you should or can. So again, it's working with your teams, working with your guides, and practicing. If you're going to remote view so it doesn't hinder and obstruct or interfere with anybody. And ask your teams, you should be in alignment with your higher self to say, how can I practice remote viewing, and have, meet with those that want to practice with you, because they have to be in agreement, and practice your telepathic gifts with those that want to practice it. I used to do that back in my earlier days. I had met up with a girl once a week, and we practiced. We would intend things in our dream time, and then we would get together the next day, and we would talk about what we dreamt about and share the findings. And so we would have those co-creations, but it was all in agreement. It was all in permission. And so do that. That's how you're working in the highest order of law, and how your teams will test you. And so if you do have psychic gifts and you do have telepathic gifts, don't be afraid of them, but find people that want to work on it with you. And I always used to have, I think they're called meetups. And so just have a community meetup of people that you want to practice gifts with, and make sure you're protecting yourself, and again, sense and tune into anybody that could be abusing, because sometimes people do, unfortunately, look for any ways to recruit and look for light workers and those that are gifted to play with them. But that's why we teach how to claim your power, how to claim your consciousness, so that there is no funny business and you're absolutely in control. And you can discern the ones that really want to do that, because they come with a certain vibration of, it's just shadiness, like snaky energy. You can sense snaky energy. You can ask your teams, please advise me of any snaky energy. I always used to say for my teams, anybody that has a snaky energy that is nefarious or selfish intentions or selfish agendas or selfish motives, show me a symbol, and we would work out a symbol. So anybody that was before me, they would show me a symbol so that I would just move on and move around. So you can have those negotiations with your teams and your higher self. How do you want to see those before you, so that you can not give the energy that they might be wanting you to give, and you can make sure that your aura is sealed, your bodies are sealed, so that they're not going to sneak into your chakras or anything like that, because some people do know how to manipulate and play with energy, and things like that. So it's always good to be fully aware. The more knowledge you have, the more wisdom you have. You're not approaching anything with any fear. You're absolutely approaching it with absolute, full sense of sensibility of who you are, full confidence of who you are, knowing yourself, knowing your story, knowing who you are with spirit. You've practiced with your teams so that you're operating in the highest vibration of right use of will and non-interference. You're not abusing your psychic gifts, you're not abusing, and you'll have maybe 4 or 5 times where you've fallen off and you want to get back on. Your teams always give you those experiences as long as the purity of your heart is to continue to improve. The purity of your heart is to continue to serve spirit, to serve your collective. Because everybody has those experiences where they're, don't practice these things when you're going through a dark night of the soul, because you're going to be calling in, you're going to be working with negative energies because you're clearing, you have to clear that density. So don't try and practice your gifts when you're going through a dark night of the soul. Dark night of the souls are meant for absolutely surrender and allowance, because you have to move that density. You have to heal yourself. And you can't be working on new gifts when you're purging and releasing deep, deep traumas. Allow your bodies and your emotions and your fields and your teams to come in and absolutely nourish you and help you release those densities, and because they are very traumatic. You shouldn't be focusing on anything through and knowing your ascension path and knowing your ascension cycle is very important, because you don't want to be practicing or doing anything new when you're going through those deep purges. You just wouldn't want to do that. You're way too, it's just too much on your plate. Your body is doing the best it can to clear those densities. So give yourself 3 or 4 days when you're going through a dark night of the soul, and really love yourself, nourish yourself, take lots of salt baths, go into nature, turn off your phone, don't go out, really create that self-loving experience. Because then your teams will know, as we said earlier, that little meter that says, how much have I cleared and what am I ready to step up into? That little meter will say, well, she did the self-loving that she needed to release those densities and give herself self-love. She didn't go out and go partying and, while she was going through a dark night of the soul, and then pretended nothing was wrong, and she's all of a sudden got all these energies in her field. Because your body is very vulnerable. You're in this new space of new birth. And, there's a card in one of my decks. Most decks have this, is releasing old energies and releasing old timelines and releasing old cords. All of those things require you to go into hermit mode and really protect your energy, protect your chakras, protect your fields, protect your new mental space, because it's like a new seed. You want to protect it and nourish it, just like they do a new plant. They put little, security things around new trees, just so that it can have its space to grow. That's what you should be doing, a few days after your dark nights of the soul, because that as you're nourishing yourself and you're giving yourself that protection, not being around toxic, dense, harmful experiences, environments, or people, you're allowing that new structure of who you are, that new light of who you are. You're allowing yourself to practice new healthy, loving patterns and experiences and excitements for who you are, and calling in new tribe and new people that can support you in your new lifestyle and support you in your new experiences. So those are all parts of your ascension path work, because you love yourself enough to have supportive people. You love yourself enough to know that you're going to have those that will lift you up, again, celebrate you instead of tolerate you. Everybody deserves to be loved and supported on their path, because you have unique gifts, and your synchronicities are going to show you to a greater excitement of who you are. And that means that you're going to be experiencing the voluptuousness and the vibrancy of who you are in all that you are. And you're going to be calling those in from that excitement pulsation. You'd be surprised, and this is why people just know whatever is before them is what they've manifested. You'd be surprised at what you actually manifest just by walking around not even knowing you're manifesting anything. Because you as a multidimensional being sending out pulsations all the time. So if you have a negative mindset, you're going to be manifesting those energies coming back to you. So when you're just aware, that's what a part of awakening is when you're aware that you are a being of reception and calling in. You're a being of sending and receiving. That's all we do, is we send and receive. Now that we're aware of it, we can now align. We can now call in all of our soul fragments. We can call in all of our higher self and all of our multidimensional aspects. And we can now manifest from this divine experience of who we are as a divine soul, instead of manifesting from this very low vibrational scattered experience of wounding. So you can either manifest from wounding, or you can do a little bit of work every day and manifest from a fully claiming of who you are, self space. And that means practicing to be 5D. Because your synchronicities are going to be equal. Your synchronicities are equal here, they're equal here. It depends on where you're manifesting those vibrancies of who you are as a soul, the vibrancies of who you are as the higher vibrational being that you are, calling in those celestial aspects, calling in those alien aspects, calling in the galactic aspects. So it just depends on, you know, your vibration of how much are you allowing yourself to be you? Are you excited to be you? Are you claiming yourself to be you? Are you honoring yourself to be you? And so all of those things are allowing you to be more of who you are. And so that's the part about synchronicity, is allowing yourself, the more excited you are to be who you are, being full in who you are, expressing yourself who you are, allowing yourself to be who you are, because as you're practicing to be 5D, it's not going to look like 3D. So you're going to have new aspects of how you behave in your home, new things that you want to do, making sure your body is nourished, making sure your body is being exercised so you can release the densities in your body and in your organs. And all of that is an experience where you're calling out all of those dark energies, you're calling out all of those residues, because there's a lot of residue. You'd be surprised how much residue there is from 3D, especially if you're allowing yourself to continue to be around people that you used to hang around with. You're going to carry those residues even more. So if you know that there's people around you that are not healing, that are not changing, that are still behaving in 3D, and you're trying to move yourself away, you're going to keep carrying that residue, and you're going to have to keep clearing it, because you're allowing those cords to stay and remain. So always make sure that, and as we said in our show or our post the other day, be okay to have those responsible, mature, spiritually mature conversations. Where are we all at in this awakening process? We really want to go on this ride. We really want to be a part of creation. We really want to be a positive impact to humanity. Where is everybody at in their ascension? What do you need help with? Are you willing to work on this? You're willing to work on that? Find people that are willing to have those spiritually mature conversations so that you can be nourished, so that you can be supported, so that you can be protected in what you're moving through and how your desires are moving, and also have those backups for when you are going through a dark night of the soul. Because when you are going through a dark night of the soul, you need that support. You need those ones that say, okay, you know, she's going through a dark night of the soul, just leave her alone for a couple of days, you know, let us know if you need anything, and have those people that you can rely on, that care about you. You know, you don't want to be around people that laugh at you and roll their eyes and think you're crazy, because that's just putting your body under way too much stress. It's putting your mind under too much stress. And that's how you know you're just not a match vibrationally for them. If they're doing more harm and damage to you, and they're not supporting you, and they want you to stay on their lower vibration, they want you to stay in drama and gossip, then you know to separate from them and just send them on their way as you move on your way. And then do the closing ceremonies, you know, close it off and send them away with love and appreciation, and cut off the cords. Have your teams, their teams, all come together in a closing ceremony, and those are good to do around full moons, so that you're releasing all of those energies from all of those timelines. Make a list of how they've served you, make a list of what you've learned, and then ask the karma board to close out those experiences, because that allows you, as I've told you many times before, you're going to be able to use those mature ambassadorialship experiences, because again, I'm preparing you for First Contact, Galactic Federation, and all of your celestial teams, depending again what your blueprint is. I'm an ambassador of peace, and I will be dealing specifically with the Galactic Federations and New Earth systems at the galactic level. So I'm used to working at that level of ambassadorialship, where you're speaking on behalf of your soul's contract. You're speaking on behalf of your soul's blueprint. So you can say, I want to talk to the karma board and my teams and God once a month to say, you know, this is what I've been working on this month, and this is how I've manifested. This is what I've learned. I've seen it from all these perspectives. It's been a really rich experience, but I'd like to really release this, and I need a lot of help doing this. And then the karma board saying, wow, she's really worked on a huge chunk of her karma. Let's do everything we can to help her release that and maybe rewrite a story. So your karma board is there for you to negotiate and rework anything that's giving you, you know, trouble and experiences or depths of darkness. You don't have to carry anybody with you. There's no rule that says you have to carry anybody with you. You're not meant to. You're not meant to take on anybody's karma. You're not meant to be there to help anybody clean up their karmic experiences. There's nowhere that that's written. There's nowhere that God would ever say. There's no and again, if that is a religion that you buy into, then ask yourself, why would you buy into compromise and sacrifice? God would never ask that of you. You're meant to be sovereign within yourself, realize what's working, what's not working, and then redefine and realign yourself, and then cut the cords of what is not supporting you and nourishing you. Because just like the sun is nourishing, you have to make sure that your environment is going to create a beautiful garden. And you need that sun, you need that nourishment, you need that emotional expression, which is the water. You need that solid foundation, which is the land, and having those solid foundations so that you can start creating, again, the creational reality of what really is a creational reality. You're manifesting it from the center of your knowingness. You're not wishy-washy. No, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I want. That doesn't serve me. That doesn't serve me. That doesn't serve me. And they're not even allowed to enter your space. Their energy can't even find you because your energy is so pure and clear about who you are. That is the excitement of knowing that you're a profound creator of the Holy Creator. That's also setting you up with a synchronicity to the equal opposite. Wow, she's done a lot of that closing off. Here's another opening. And again, remember, that's always the infinity. Creation will always match you equally. Whatever you're letting go, creation will always open up anew. So send it away with love, send it away with gratitude and appreciation. Mark down what you've learned, how you've learned it, what traumas it helped you release, how you did your healing, giving yourself self-love and forgiveness, giving everybody else self-love and forgiveness, and then you're opening up to more of who you are. And that is like the measure, I call it life meter, a life meter. As you're more loving and embracing and honoring yourself, that excitement of who you are, that calls in greater synchronicities. That's how you manifest. Manifesting from a rich in spirit perspective, a fullness of spirit, a fullness of who you are, an excitement for who you are, that's manifesting. That's all you really need, is manifesting from the pulsations of your clear, attuned light body. Light will manifest, make no mistake about this, light will manifest everything faster in an oscillized exact measure, and it will be beyond what you thought. It's not going to look like what you thought it might look like. It's going to be something totally different and even better, because that's light. You're manifesting from a 3D dark perspective, you're going to manifest that experience, and it's going to be slow, and you might have to do a lot of, like, you know, the people that abuse energy and black magic, they've manifested what they did because they forced it. They had to use a lot of people's light and a lot of people's energy. And now that those people are leaving and moving away, now they're saying, okay, well, what do I create with now? They didn't learn how to work with who they are within. So now all of their towers and all their destructions are coming down to show them you don't need anybody outside of you. Go back within. So again, the destruction is always going to be there. The same lesson, the same story. Go back within. Spells aren't going to work. Go back within. Do the work. Then you don't ever have to worry about the destructions and the towers. They're very purposeful that you can learn from them. But the money that was spent on spell work and the degrading and the people that were involved, it's a huge mess that was never necessary. Never necessary. But those timelines had to be purged, and now it's all being cleansed out and pulled out. It's just like a sliver. Like that sliver is being pulled out of that timeline potential because those experiences had been had. That's it. The story's closed. They chose destruction because they didn't stop. They didn't take the heed of warning of spirit. So that sliver is now being pulled. They're facing their karma. They're facing their destruction. They're facing their tower moments. That sliver is being pulled, and the timelines get refined. And that's where we keep saying, again, practice your 5D by making sure you're aligning with the vibrational laws. Right use of free will, non-interference. Make sure that you're practicing who you are in your highest frequency. And of course, that just keeps that law number 2 always in your state, because you want to make sure you're balanced. You know when you're out of balance. The more in line and in love with who you are, the more excited you are. So give yourself little tests every day. How excited can I be about me? Every time you get excited about you, you're sending out these light pulsations to the universe. They're going to return back to you equal opportunity, because that's the universe is. It's always showing you. The universe is always equal opportunity response. Always. So the more excited you are about you, creativity within you as source. Excitement is your creativity of being source. That's what excitement is. Wow, I'm excited to be source today. What can I create? How can I explore? How can I express? That's source. You should be waking up excited to be you every day. What am I going to experience? Most people on our planet aren't, because they have no connection with source. They have no connection with their higher self. They have no connection with spirit. And then they go to the outer to try and manifest what they think is going to, manifest the manifest things. Like I was, that whole brain chip that Elon Musk is doing, and I've sent some social tweets on that, and he doesn't understand that he's not connected with his higher self. He's manifesting these things to go in the divine matter, the mechanisms that's in the brain that your teams do. When you're in Ascension and you're on your path, you have teams that help you in every multi-dimensional way, that help you manifest utter divine perfection to 100% when you're aligned with your higher self, until you're absolutely light and you manifest from thought. Your brain, everything that you are as higher self, everything that you are in alignment of you, it's the consciousness starting to transmute all that you are in matter as the highest vibration of higher mind, God mind. And him creating this whole brain chip, a synthetic experience of technology to go inside the divine brain. And I responded this morning, I think I said, I pray for anybody that chooses to do what you're offering, because you are not aligned with your higher self. You wouldn't ever interfere with anybody's divine sacred matter. It's not a program that any higher mind, that any person that's connected with their spirit, with God, would ever suggest to be an okay thing. Because God knows you can manifest creation, you can manifest the highest level of intelligence. But he's still under that 3D concept of, technology is everything. I'm going to manifest because I've got the money. His ideologies of, being an elite, intelligent, collective is all in technology. Like his comment about what makes the world go round, money does. No, people do. Source does, spirit does, but he has total disconnect. He's not aligned at all. So the billions that he's spending on that, I offered, what about, feeding countries that are absolutely poor? What about aligning leaders in the 5D that are absolutely understanding consciousness and what the alignment of the higher self means and how it's connected to every aspect of the functioning and the mechanisms that's in the higher mind and the prefrontal cortex and all of the things that get adjusted and the pineal and the various millions of aspects of the multidimensional systems that go into any one activation as you're clearing away the lower densities and aligning with your higher self. We have how one person is activated multidimensionally through the ascension pathwork is phenomenal. And any interference and any technology that is interfering with that natural organic blessing that God offers you to ascend as your higher self, I think it's a big mistake. And I really pray for anybody that would buy into that and think that they want to have a chip put in their brain. I don't understand. There's people, that's how disconnected people are. To think that they're going to have a chip put in their brain to manifest something that's already there in the God essence, and how that will absolutely interfere. And there hasn't been very good results, apparently, from what I have heard from, the research journalist that has studied or has researched his results on those. It's not good. So anyways, just be aware. God is able to give you whatever it is you want to manifest, your highest intelligence. And it's not, you should never ever want to be in the front of the class in any level other than just exploring who you are as love. You should want to be in front of the class to be your highest loving self, to love yourself, to explore yourself. They're just warped conceptions of success and importance, false sense of importance. He is ruled by an utter false sense of importance. He's ruled by, if I can come up with this great technology and I've got billions of dollars, I'm going to start to create this, this, and this. It's a false sense of importance, it's a false sense of value, and he's messing with the divine elegance of how a brain is alchemized and alchemizing as light with the higher self. They haven't even taken in any consideration of the brain function itself and the pineal and how it aligns to the higher self. Our brain is a functioning mechanism of ascension, and it allows us to connect with the highest level of the higher mind. And he's absolutely interfering with all of it. He doesn't understand anything to do with source consciousness, creating and manifesting brilliance. So really be aware of, and I think he's got stocks and things like that that are people that buy into his stuff. So just be aware. That's not high vibrational leadership. That's not high vibrational leadership because there's no connection with his higher self at all. He hasn't gone above to ask, is this a good idea? He's brought that on himself through ego and his false sense of importance that he needs to feed himself. So just know that because anybody that's aligned with their higher self would never say that that's okay. That's interference on every level with God. God is able to transmute whatever you want through your own consciousness awakening and through your own consciousness work. And so you're constantly swimming with the divine in every new moment and every new template. Remember, those templates are the actual bedding that you co-create with on. And every moment you're allowing yourself to be in better union, higher union, more excited union with you and the creator, with you and the multiverse. Remember, you're creating as a co-creative partner with the multiverse. The omnipresent is what you're creating with. The omnipresent is source, right? So again, that outer experience is you and source. Is it loving, or are you still looking to others for your sense of importance? Are you looking to others for your sense of value? Are you looking to others for your answers on how to heal or how gifted you are? No, you go within. That's your gift. Then you pulsate that renewed sense, that unconditional loving sense, all of that projections is pulsating out, and that's just naturally giving you back those equal opportunity pulsations. If you don't love yourself and you're looking to everybody else for your importance, for your value, then you're giving that power away. So don't give your power away. Reclaim that power. Know that you're the one that is responsible for your sense of value, your sense of self. Who are you? I know who I am. My energy can't be touched. My chakras can't be touched. My bodies can't be touched. I am who I am. And that way, anybody else's narrative or anybody else's stories, anybody else's forcing, anybody else's making has nothing to do with you. They can think they're playing with you, but they're not. You're just on a totally different level, totally different dimension. They're going to have to find somebody else to play with because they're not getting your light or your buy-in or your brain to put a chip in. And this is where there's going to be a direction of your energy focus. That's what's being created on the 3D realm, is the outer self of importance, because they're not doing the healing. Elon Musk has not done the healing. Otherwise, he wouldn't be creating billion-dollar projects to go in defiance of the natural, organic experience of the embodiment of light, of the higher self. No higher self would ever say, put a chip in your brain, because the higher self knows that, wow, we can manifest any negotiations with the brain that can manifest equal to your gifts. And I'll go into that in a second, because I've always thought that was really interesting. When I get a gift activated, what is that? Because I can see the multidimensional templates. I see the multidimensional templates. I see this. So I said, when I get a gift activated, what happens to this? How does that look? Because I read energy, I read the fields. So that's what they showed me. So we're constantly swimming in the divine in every new moment. And when we emulate and we pulsate those excitements for who we are, the excitements to practice who we are, the new practicing of 5D, those synchronicities just show up for us. And it's going to, as I said earlier, it's going to manifest faster because we're oscillating in higher light. And the bedding that we're sitting within right now, we're 4D, our planet right now is sitting in a 4D energy. So that means that everything is returning really quickly. So karma is going to return quickly. What you're pulsating out there and how you're going to manifest is pulsating quickly. It's going to return you quickly. So that's what we've been talking about for a couple of years. As you release old patterns and beliefs and ideologies, and you're savoring more in the moment of who you are, and you're allowing the embracing of your uniqueness and sharing it. So again, who are you in this new moment? You're getting excited to be expressive in singing and dancing, creating whatever it is you're going to create. And again, you're going to naturally have those reflections back to you of those that are going to be triggered in your new light, because it's just a natural progression. You're meant to just keep going, keep going, keep going. And anybody that is still not going to be with you on that ride are just going to start dropping off, because you don't need to be around people that just keep rolling their eyes at you and putting you down. Those aren't supportive tribe. So just move on. But you'll get that. It's just a part of the path of aspirant as well. You're going to have smaller and smaller circles and be okay with that, because at least you're going to be around people that love you, as opposed to people that are trying to take you off path all the time. And so the synchronicities in your creativity go hand in hand. It's the ignitions of your creative genius that are moving in a higher vibrational oscillation pattern. So the bandwidths, your platforms are now higher oscillating. So the more excited you are, the quicker that return will be. And we don't, because everybody in humanity has that quick punch. The level of attention span is going to get longer and longer. That's why all of our videos are longer and longer, because you can go back and read and watch them and make notes, and you can actually soak in the energy and the codes that we offer. It's not going to be getting your quick fix, because that's superficiality. That's what 3D has been. It's been a disconnect. The more disconnected you are, the more fast impulse you have. That's why the underground was created. A, there was a lot of wounding, and B, they get their kicks really fast. They get their addictions really fast. They get their heart on really fast. They get their jacking off really fast. Everything is fast, 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 fast. That's why the underground was created, because it gives them that stimulation that you are meant to get through spirit, through source. But you get it in a more organic, natural, creative, vibrating way. The underground has no creativity to it whatsoever. It's dark. It is trying to manifest and get that excitement through life force, which is all dark and debaucherous. Still great lessons, but we're meant to have that ignition and life force, excitement and joy and vibrancy about being who we are through the creative process. That's source feeding us with source. We are source nourishing with source. We are source nourishing with source. We are source nourishing with source. How do we do that? Our creative expression, our creative beingness. When everything is aligned, we are creating. So you don't need that underground stuff. You don't need addictions. You don't need obsessions. You don't need all the stuff that is trying to feed a higher oscillating body. And sometimes people get lost in their addictions because they don't know that they're ascending and they're not working on their woundings. So it just becomes a big pileup of a mess. because they're not doing the proper work to release the energies from a clogged system, an imbalanced system, a broken system, and they're going to debaucherous experiences and then getting entity attachments, which just perpetuates the dark cycle downwards, the spiral downwards, descension. And that's okay too. There are always great lessons in that, because we have to see everything as a lesson and a story. There will be those people that will play out those darker stories for us. So we can say, okay, this is what happens when you abuse energy. This is what happens when readers and false spiritualists abuse energy. They abuse their people patrons before them. This is what happens. So how can we learn? So we've been talking about bringing these universal truths and, the karma rules and laws forward so that people can start knowing that your gifts are going to be awakening. You're going to become more psychic. You're going to become more telepathic. You're going to be opening and awakening your ancient Lemurian, Atlantean, Egyptian gifts, gifts from other planets, gifts from wherever you're meant to be. It's all equally aligned with your soul's blueprint, what you're here to manifest, how you're here to help serve, how you're here to align, which is what our vocational alignment sessions do. We help you align all of those gifts into an offering now that you can offer as your excitement, as your now synchronicity with creation, with your planet, with your co-creative collective. That's how you manifest in 5D. When everything is aligned, you're not missing out anything. If you have a false sense of importance, a false sense of entitlement, you're going to create things like, Mr. Musk does, where they're creating brain chips to say that he's moved human evolution in a certain direction. Well, that's a very misaligned and misguided evolutionary path. Just as the Andromedans did. The Andromedans just about manifested themselves out of their own species because they glorified technology and they disconnected from source essence. So they had to rework themselves back into source. They were very highly intelligent, highly advanced beings, but they glorified technology to an imbalance of their source. They had to return back to spirit so that everything was in balance. Because the species will just not exist. You can de-evolve just like the Greys. The Greys absolutely wiped themselves out. Exact same thing that happened to the Greys. And our reality, our human reality, has been helping them bring back their species through using of our DNA and using of, the celestial babies taken from the wombs and then, brought up to the incubation centers so that they could reignite their species. And we all do that at the highest level of contracts. There's nothing, controlling about that. It's all done at the highest level of soul contracts because we want to help them. They've learned their species lesson and they're here to help us in our that's humanity can go in an infinite number of ways, depending on if we get this lesson of returning to self and being source, we're not going to go down those paths. That's why I'm here to help teach these things, to remind everybody of who they are as source. Nothing else is needed. You don't need brain chips. You don't need any outer experience. You don't need operations. You don't need all of those things to be anything that you want. You have the intelligence, the wisdom, the blessing, anything from any dimension, any realm. You have it within you. So work with the alliance of source. Connect with spirit, love spirit, and spirit will love you. Love your reality, love Gaia, love the plants, love the animals, give love and nourishment. Again, equal excitement brings equal excitement. That's synchronicity. If an animal is meant to teach you something and help you with something, that animal's going to be there. That's synchronicity. Your excitement of animals, your excitement of being with animals, of learning about animal healing, of learning about what the animals are here to teach you in symbolisms and ancient stories so that you can anchor now into a 5D story, all of those animals will show up. Whatever is meant to at any given time, just let go and allow spirit, allow God, allow creation, allow the synchronicity of your excitement. Your excitement is the mechanism to your manifestation. Your excitement is the mechanism to your healing. You want to see a healed body? Get excited about a healed body, then you'll be healed. If anything is holding you back right now as far as an illness or a disorder or an imbalance, get excited about that healed aspect and start grounding it. Start thinking about it. Start seeing it. Start feeling that vibration of who you are as healed now. Whatever a hold back you might think is, go to the other side of it and already start seeing it done. Then you're bypassing anything that you have to kind of move through. You're just transmuting to the highest experience. You're coding in that already healed experience. It doesn't discount, though, why you manifested that to begin with. So as you're manifesting that new version of the body, you can't do that until you've understood why you manifested that. Because spirit will say, well, why did you manifest the disease? Why did you manifest the disorder? You have to get that, right? You can't manifest a healed experience until you get why you manifested it. Well, I felt a really big lack of self. Wow, I didn't feel good about it. I didn't hold my body in high regard. Okay, well, now I'm holding my body in high regard. Let's manifest something great. So always go to why you manifested something so that you're not going to manifest it again. Because again, it's just like that quick fix, that red pill. Take the red pill to get what you want. And then 10 days later, you're just manifesting something again because you didn't heal that core belief. You didn't pull out that belief. So you can manifest and create anything you want, but you still have to heal those core beliefs on why you manifest a disease. Why do you keep manifesting the same type of person? Why do you keep manifesting the same type of disregard? Heal that belief. So always go to the core, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Then you get that experience of absolutely, the karma board says, yes, you went 5 times back to that experience. Because you don't want to keep manifesting douchebags. You know, people that keep treating you like crap. You don't want to do that. No, you're manifesting because you love yourself. There is absolutely no access. If they're not absolutely sure about who they are, if they are not healed, they're not coming in my space. On that level. You know, of course, as a healer and as a teacher, I'm a teacher and a healer, and that's what I'm here for. But as far as a personal engagement or an intimacy, no. If you're not sure about who you are and you don't know who you are and you're not doing the work, you're not coming in my space. There's no compromise. There's no negotiation. There's no discussion. It's absolutely closed. And there's no billionth chance. There's no millionth chance. There's no. There's no discussion. No means no. There's no further contact. No further discussion. And I don't need validation. I don't need to discuss. I don't need to explain. There's been enough explanation. Everybody from the past, done. Like the little can of Raid. Go. Spray. Wipe on, wipe off. You're done. No more. No more. No means no. And you can actually say that and then put that in your field. No. Anybody with this vibration, no. Learn my lesson. Not going back. 8 years of absolute loss and destruction and damage. No more. I get to be happy. I get to receive. I get to be around people that love me. I get to be around people that want to be excited to see me receive. Wouldn't that be awesome? What is it like to have a room filled with people that absolutely love seeing you receive? And many of us know we each have them in our families. We each have them in our friend circle, that when you have something good going in your life, you'll always have those 1 or 2 people that will actually, you'll feel the negative hate projected at you like you didn't deserve it. Why them? Why not me? Why them? Why not me? It's that why not me? It's that narcissism. Well, go within and do the work. Do the self-love. Find yourself being happy for others, and then maybe something happy will happen for you. You can't expect good things when you're doing nothing but harming and hurting people. Again, equal opportunity. If you're doing nothing but spell casting and harming and forcing and doing all of these really horrible things to people, how can you ever expect anything good to happen to you? Where's your energy at? Your energy is at everybody gets things but me. Everybody gets things but me. It's victim mode. Okay, well, then you're just setting up yourself to be more victim. And you're not actually resolving anything. Go within. Who are you? What is your sense of self? So again, it's clearing out all of those experiences. And those, depending on where you're at, if you want to receive, then you're saying, no, I'm actually not going to share anything of what I get because I'm going to wait till I'm around people that will absolutely celebrate me. And then I'm going to celebrate it with those that absolutely want to be celebrated with me. So you're going to be very fine. Again, Jesus said it's a very narrow path. I get to refine, and I get to actually be very clear about who's going to come into my life. I'm going to be very clear about how I want to manifest and who I want to have around me. Because I want this beautiful forest around me, and I want to be able to celebrate within my beautiful lush garden. I've created it. I've seeded my garden. I've nourished my garden. I've made sure that my garden was maintained. I've actually talked to the karma board and my guides. I'm talking with them daily. I'm absolutely making sure that I'm weeding out things that don't work. I'm weeding out my mental patterns. I'm weeding out my chakras. All of these things in my garden, I'm on top of it. As I know what's going on. I know who I am inside and out. Nobody's going to fuck with me. They can try, and my guides and my ancestors will eat them alive because they just haven't learned the lessons. And God has had enough, as we've been saying for 2 years now, but they're still trying it, still trying to get, still trying to take, still trying to swindle. But that's their sense of lack of self. But you're very clear, so your garden is going to look very beautiful because you're not going to take any seeds that are not okay with you. No. Go heal. Thank you for the ride. I appreciate the lessons. Bye. So you can be taking in so they said the life genius, because at every new platform, there's going to be a new level of genius of vibrational threads you get to harmonize with. That harmonization is part of what equal opportunity is going to activate more gifts that are going to activate that life compass, that little meter that's going to allow you to open up more to more of the synchronicities for your manifestations. You're going to manifest more of that potential, life potential. So again, they called it life genius. and equal to the karmic energies that you're letting go. So as we just said, the karmic energies you let go, you heal. The dark night of the souls, you let go, you refine your environment, you refine your food, you refine your life, you refine your lifestyle. All of those things help you increase your life genius, the life matter, the life compass that you have to work with, the new omnipresent nourishment of your soil, the garden, the fertilizer, if you will, everything that you want to nourish your new garden, making a little altar in your home, making a temple, clearing it regularly, working with different beings and different consciousnesses, practicing your gifts, practicing your skills. All of these things create your garden. It makes your garden very rich and lush because you're working with lots of, you're rich in spirit. You know, that's what they've always shown me, is to be rich in spirit is manifesting in 5D. Because the more rich in spirit you are, you're actually creating a big, beautiful compass in a big, beautiful garden. You've got lots of different flowers in there. You've lots of different seeds in there. You've put your seeds everywhere with love and experience. And you might seem to have a small, subscriber list, but in your daily work, you're spreading seeds of love. You're spreading seeds of potential. You're spreading seeds of hope. You're spreading seeds of releasing fear. There's nothing to fear. Release the fear. Stand up and claim who you are. Stand up and know that spirit and source can manifest anything you want. You don't have to buy into false programs. You don't have to buy into false people selling you false ideals. And again, discern anybody that is before you selling you a false program. If they're not allowing you to stand fully in your power, and if it's a codependent situation, release it, let it go, because they need to do their healing on codependency. Stand full in your power, stand full in your experience, and you get to claim all that you are as source spirit, equaling your beautiful garden and the genius that you have in life coming back to you. So they said the symptoms, so this is what they showed me. If I can show that there. This is the meter. Do you see that? So there's 0, right? There's 0, 10, 20, 30. So we're meant to clear and cover 50% of our karma. So 50% of our karma, there's our DNA. So your DNA will be activated to equal however much you clear. You cannot be activated in a 60% DNA if you're still doing karmic experiences, hanging around karmic people. You just won't. You will not have the capacity through your mental, emotional, physical, multidimensional bodies. Your brain cannot process the information. Your psychic fields can't process the information. Your brain cannot process what you're getting as a higher vibrational download. Your brain cannot understand what a quantum matter of a quark is if you're still down here doing debaucherous things. You have to be equal opportunity. If you want to understand quarks and quantum mechanics and quantum energy and how your cells are affected by quantum light, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. It's clogging up your life meter. So what kind of a life meter do you want to have? Do you want to still be down here at 10% while you're working with 10% of old programs? It's okay that you are. You're getting equal opportunity. But you're only going to get 10% back. So that's why people can't complain. If you're working at 10% karma where you're a victim and everybody outside of you is against you, you're going to get 10% back and everybody's going to be against you because you're not allowing yourself to be loved. You're not setting up who you are as a sense of self. So your DNA here is going to be equal opportunity to the amount of karma that you've cleared, to the amount of light that you're allowing in to flow and nourish your body. The more light that you allow to flow and nourish your body, the more capacity you have to be healed, the more capacity you have to be manifesting, the more capacity you have to set up with equal opportunity synchronicities. It's equal all the way across. So you have to discern and determine and be very, most of us are, those with, really warped egos, and they're usually usually have mental imbalances if it's a really warped ego. And those need other aspects of healing. And so there's always opportunities they can seek and outreach programs for that, because they'll need multidimensional experiences for that type of healing. But most of us are sitting in a place where we always see ourselves as not worthy of the gifts that we have. So that's what they told me. They said the problem that the teams and the guides have with humanity at this level is that they're not claiming they're not claiming their abilities to work with these new gifts and practice them in new vibrational ways. So that's one of my recommendations today for the video, is as we're working with synchronicities and the genius of who you are as a life potentiation, remember equal opportunity in all of your platforms that you're experiencing. Your platform is your garden, is your soil, is your fertilizer, right? So you want to be able to weed it and nourish it and water it and make sure you're putting love into your garden, putting love into what you've created, putting love into your excitements that are creative. You, as the excitement of you, is always going to be a creative output, a creative expression, a creative offering. That's why creativity is the highest vibrational tool we have for our healing, for are manifesting in the fullest alignment of who we are with spirit. Spirit is the highest level of creativity. That's why I was giving that example of Elon Musk. Highest level of creativity is that full alignment of the higher mind and the energies that move through the pineal and move through the multidimensional systems. That's the alignment of the higher mind. And if you're not aligned, they're just grabbing energies out of the air that are not aligned with any of the heavenly programs. So that's why, again, if you're a reader, if you're a healer, a practitioner, you have to align with your higher self, because your higher self is going to guide you. Your higher self would never, ever take you or have you go against the universal laws. Your higher self would never align you. The higher self would never tell you that. So that's how you know. It's the first two laws. If you're getting any information from your higher self, or you're hearing any voices, because you will be opening to your gifts and you are going to be hearing voices. If you're hearing voices that tell you to go against the first two universal laws, you know that they're negative entities and negative energies that you are hearing, or thought projections or energies from other people. So just send them away. Say, thank you, move away, please, and send them out of your field. Because you will be opening to your gifts and you're going to hear voices. You just have to discern what voices are you hearing. It's very easy. I just told you those two things. All you have to know is two things. If it is not aligned in love and the universal laws, tell it to get out of your field. Because it wants to test you, and you're going to have those tests. Your higher self and your soul will want you to have those tests. You're going to be around people that are not going to be benevolent. Your soul is going to want you to have those tests, especially if you're a healer or practitioner or a leader. If you're going to be a leader of 5D, you have to have those deep, deep, soulful tests that will test every vibration of your moral and your ethics and your integrity. That's why I've had the long path that I've had. That's why I'm starting to manifest late in life. I haven't manifested anything the first half of my life, except for 3D jobs and very tumultuous, tragic, tormenting relationships. I had to go through every single level of human lack of integrity, lack of moral, lack of value experience so that I can stand in my story as God said and hold the moral high ground. No, I'm not going to sway from my story. No, I know who I am. No, I'm not going to succumb to your human testing. No, I'm not going to succumb to your mental negative thoughts. If you're attacked, if you're spiritually attacked, you will be attacked on the mental body and the emotional body. It's done psychically. It's done from many different realms. That's why claiming your higher self, claiming who you are as a conscious being, aligning your chakras, working with your fields and your chakra systems, knowing what is for you, what isn't for you, doing your clearing. If you're not doing your clearing, you're going to have a whole bunch of gunk in your field. And then when you wake up to your gifts, it's like, holy fuck, what's going on? And you're very scattered and you're in a lot of anxiety, having trouble grounding. You don't even know what grounding is. That's putting so much pressure on your multidimensional fields you don't need to. That's why working every day, clearing your fields, every day practice grounding, every day work with your teams, every day do your journaling, do your ascension path work every day, so that you're not going to put undue stress on yourself and you're not going to be confused about what information you are hearing. Spirit and source is always very simple, very clear. They're very easy, quick sentences. It's always aligned in love. Every time I awaken to my teams, the first thing they say is, we love you, Joanna. We want to thank you for your service. Every single time. It's very simple. It's always positive. It's always uplifting. It's always believe in yourself. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your voice. That's how you know it's an alignment of the higher self. Your higher self would never say, go put a chip in your brain. Your higher self would never ever say, give your power away to that person over there so they can manifest money and they'll leave you out hanging. No, your higher self is going to say, no, reclaim your power and tell them to go away. And keep telling them to go away until they actually go away. So you will be tested in many, many different ways, especially if you're a healer, a teacher, or a leader. Because you're going to have to stand with that mantle and that staff and know exactly who you are with God. Especially if you're going to be in purveyorship and leadership and speaking on behalf of people. Because my life story was not just about me and my life lineage and my family's lineage and my royal lineage. It's about every single aspect of child that's ever been abused. It's about every woman that has been subjugated. It's about every woman that was put on a back burner. It's about every woman that was gaslit. It's about every woman that was told she was crazy when absolutely she was the only one telling the truth. So you absolutely have to stand in your power, and God will support you equal measure. And God will make sure everything cleared out of the way. No, she's actually done what she was meant to do, was stand in her truth. Because those of great purpose and those of great leadership will absolutely have the hardest path. Because you're working through eons of subjugation. Nobody understands the path that I've had to go through. Because it's thousands of years of density and subjugation and misogyny and oligarchy, and everywhere you turn, there's people throwing dirt at you for a divine feminine. And then if you're a divine feminine of color, so nobody has any idea of the discrimination and the defamation that any one person faces when they come out with higher vibrational wisdoms, when they come out with higher vibrational knowings, when you're actually returning to your intuition and your whole self. When you return to that whole self, nothing can shake you. People can try and throw whatever they want at you, but that's only because they're sitting in a very deep, dark, shaken sense of self, because they have no idea who they are, and all of a sudden you're showing up with who you are, and they want to challenge you at every step of the way. Well, you don't have to validate any of them. You can have them have their beliefs and them go away, and you find the audience that wants to be with you. So again, understand the lessons and don't get caught up in the dramas. Just let them go. And there will be those that will not let you go, and they just want to keep hanging on to you. And then God will come in, and as I've experienced this week, is the cords will be cut and your fields will be cleared of those energies, because they don't have any right to keep taking from you. They don't have any right to continue the stories when you've said no. You have full ownership over your story with God. Your free will is everything. So use your will. Nobody can press their will upon you. When you said no, it means no. They don't have any right to force their will upon you. They don't. So you have to reclaim that will. No, I'm in charge of all of my chakras. I'm in charge of my consciousness. I'm in charge of my home. I'm in charge of my life. I'm in charge of my successes. Everybody else, get out and cut the cords. Have lots of salt baths, clear out your energies, especially on those very deep, dark, really karmic, icky experiences where there's control and dominance. They have no right. And you can feel it on they're doing it on other realms because they don't like to be told no. And you have to absolutely tell them no, get out. So tell the energies to get out. If it's negative and not in alignment with your highest and your best, that's not an energy that is meant for you. They're going to be testing you. So you can say, thank you for the test. Now get out of my space and cleanse your house. Open the door, open the windows, let all the air move. Ask your angels in to help you cleanse the house and get them out of your space. That's you taking ownership. That's you taking commandmentship. No, I'm in charge of my bodies. My bodies are cleansed. When you're taking your salt bath, cleanse your body with intention. This water will cleanse my body. This water will cleanse my tissues. This water will cleanse the brain functioning in my field. Cleanse the negative spell work. Cleanse the negative projections. Cleanse the negative intentions that are out in the thought fields of the omnipresent field. Anywhere you go has thought fields just popping around. Your job is to create higher vibrational thought forms. Everywhere you walk, say, I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. I love you. Thank you for being here. I love you. I love you. You're sending out positive thought forms into the field of light rather than negative mental patternings that's just habituated self of lack. Lack of importance, lack of this, lack of that. Giving your power away. That's all 3D matrix stuff. So break it up. Send love, send light, be light. Emanate light. That synchronicity comes back with you. And so again, that life meter shows you what you've cleansed and what you're ready to be activated in equal opportunity. 30% releasing karma, 30% you get activated. 50% releasing karma, 50% you're activated. You're absolutely half of your higher self. So celebrate that. Oh my God. That's like anybody that's made it to this point, you have to celebrate. So take tomorrow to have a day of celebration. You have made it this far. You have made it through aspects of creation that never thought that we would come this far. There was the projection that this is going to work, but nobody thought that it was going to be this far, that we were going to get this far into the Ascension experience. So celebrate. Wow, you've really transcended the most dense experience. You've transcended your childhood trauma. You've transcended a really abusive experience. You've transcended somebody saying that you couldn't or laughing at you and had no trust in you, had no faith in you. You've transcended those. Celebrate. Look at how far you've come. You've actually looked at it from all these perspectives, and you actually see how you've grown, how you've changed. You've stood so pure in your power that God's going to give you a blessing. Boom. God sees how much work you've done. That's why nobody has the right to ever judge you or comment on your life. They have no idea who the fuck you are. They had no idea the time that you've spent in prayer. They had no idea the light work that you do. Nobody knows in a day what I do. The light I work with, the things and the densities I clear, the energies I talk with to transmute, the councils that I'm working with on higher vibrational realms to bring new ideas, new potentials, breaking up matrices, breaking up old patterns, breaking up old densities for humanity. I work at a collective galactic level. That's why I don't ever have to, you know, validate myself to anybody, because they're people that are just in a very bad state of lack of self, that they project such horrible things to people when they finally receive. I had last week, I had this little video. Hello, my beautiful Angela, you beautiful, gorgeous girl. And beautiful Angela, she was so sweet. She sent me a donation that I could eat last week. I had this little video of, I just thought it was funny. I was just sort of started to laugh. I found in my car this little tiny fruit cup that I had bought in the summer sometime. And I was so excited that, oh my gosh, because I was doing a 5-day fast. And I was really low on money, because there was, the monies that were meant to come to me didn't come to me. And there was games being played about money and all that kind of stuff, which had been consistent over the past 8 years of people stealing money and taking money from me and withholding it from me, money that's meant for me. And you guys have all known the story on my community board. So anyways, karma's hitting now, thank goodness. Thank goodness for karma, you know, because I can actually be set free from all these really bad stories that have been, you know, putting me in such horrible experiences. And I found this little fruit cup, and I took a little 2-minute video, and I was just so excited to get this little fruit cup. I was so appreciative, because it was just all I had eaten for 3 days. And then Angela, beautiful Angela, had sent me a beautiful little donation. I cried. Angela, I cried. Thank you, sweetie. And it was just such gratitude and appreciation that the people that were meant, that have money, that were supposed to give me my money that was meant for me years and years and years ago, and the truths that were supposed to come out years and years and years ago, and the games and the BS that had been done to me for many, 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 many years, and these people that have been tormenting me for so many years and so many timelines and so many eons, just because I am who I am. I didn't receive from any of those people. The ones that owe me the most, the ones that have done the most, not, and still to this day, not an apology, not a dollar, not a penny. And beautiful Angela, who in her own state is doing her best in her limited experiences and what she's trying to manifest for herself in a better way. And she sends me the only food that I had for that week, and that little fruit cup. And it just made me, I did a little video just laughing so hard, because, you know, the energies of anybody thinking that they know me, and how easy my life is, and how much I get and how much I have, and their stupid, arrogant, selfish comments about anything that they know anything about me. And here, all I've had all week was a little fruit cup, you know. And I just did a little video, you know, for the assholes that think that I have so much. This is the only food I've had for 4 or 5 days. And Angela, you know, beautiful Angela, I cried, Angela, when I got your donation. I was sitting at a water fountain doing my meditation. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go another day without food, you know, and luckily I had water and stuff like that. And so, and I've had longer fasts, so I know that my body can do it. And I'm reprogramming my mind now that God nourishes me, because I'm moving more and more towards breatharian. So I know that these fasts and these things that are cleaning out my body have a very beautiful experience, because it helps me release a lot of toxins that bring brain fog and all that kind of stuff. So I know that these are always serving me. So I turn the stories around. So I know that I'm going to be helping others do toxin fasting and things like that. But the money that Angela sent me, she was the one, you know, she was the one that opened her heart and gave. And she had a little comment. I'm just getting tears right now. Those people that have claimed to, ones in your family that have claimed to care about you, do everything they can to break you, and you're never fed by them. And you do what you do because you're kind and you're good. And you keep believing, and you keep sending them healing and how to heal. And luckily you come into clients like Angela. Thank you for feeding me, Angela. God will always show you a way that you can be nourished. So as you nourish your garden, and I'm so glad to be a part of Angela's garden, That's why it's so hurtful for those people that don't have any clue who you are. Say the most hurtful, dumb things. And it doesn't, the thing that just so rude in this awakening process is that it takes you everything in your power to transcend what I transcended. And there's nobody on the other side but God that says, wow, you did it, good for you. Nobody's cheering you on. They're only throwing rocks and stones and more spells at you. And they're throwing judgments about what they think you have and what they think you deserve. And they have no idea that you haven't eaten for 5 days, and there's nobody waiting there and telling you a good job, except for your work with spirit. And these people do nothing but just berate you and defile you and send spells your way to keep breaking you and keep trying to control you so that their life is not taken out of their story. So last week was huge, because sometimes the gardens that you think you've been putting all your nourishment into and you've given so much to certain people, they'll be the ones that are the ones you're meant to absolutely step away from and cut the cords quickly, because there was a false sense of manipulation and false sense of stories that they lied so very well to make you think that there was care and there was consideration, when all along they were doing as much as they could to take as much as they could. And then as soon as you get just up to the top, they're throwing even more at you, because you finally found the strength to take that last step, to climb up to a new level of not accepting hate and degradation. And vibrationally, that's something I wouldn't wish on anybody. And you have those people that just come through like angels, like Angela. That's why part of her name is Angel. Angela is one of my newest clients. And there was people that I had known for 30 years, and I had to fight for every dollar and every moment that I had a statement about who I was to be heard in truth. And I still got blamed and I still got judged. And Angela gave what she could. So that goes to show you that your gardens can be seeded other places, and you're going to be loved. And Angela, I know she's going to be the seeder of so many gardens. She's already shown how much of a master she is. And the heavens are working so good with you, Angela. I sent out so many prayers and angels for you this week, in gratitude and appreciation for you feeding me. I'm at the very last stages of my divorce, and it's been 6 years. It should have been closed out 2 years. There's been so many delays and games and defilement in this process, and things that were meant to come to me and meant to be in my hands already years and years ago. I should have been on a different path years and years ago. And so many delays and derailments of my path. And every time I bring truth forward, it's constantly taken off path, because other people are working in very deceitful ways, and they don't want their reputations to be seen for who they are. Meanwhile, everybody else's life gets derailed and defiled as they're doing black magic to confuse and blame and project and charge and false claims and false charges and everything that they can do, that they can think of. And the people they have working in their corrupt systems to make that no innocent person has a voice. And then they have the balls to stand up and say that you don't deserve what you've earned. Are you kidding me? There's no person that would have survived what I survived. So bad. And then you just send them compassion. All you can do. And that makes you take that whole other experience about unconditional love and compassion. They're still source. They're still working from very broken experiences, broken things about who they are And you have to be able to go deeper within your own psyche and really send them love and compassion and forgiveness. And you have to give yourself twice as much love for you surviving what you did, you know, and then really rely on your teams to nourish you. Every night go into your healing experiences and put yourself in a regeneration chamber. I always suggest that in your healing sessions at night. Ask for the most appropriate, the highest appropriate, because every time you're going through your path of ascension, from here till the end of the year, there's going to be still a lot of purging. So I would suggest those that are on the path of ascension, that are really excited to be their higher vibrational selves, to have higher vibrational health, to carry higher vibrational light, to ask for a recalibration chamber every night as you go to sleep, and ask for the Archangel Michael protection spell, protection work for you at nighttime, so that there's going to be nobody that will interfere with your nighttime work with yourself and with your teams and your light ships and your higher calibrations. And it's just a simple prayer that I use, and it is, Archangel Michael, please protect me, heart, mind, body, and soul, 352 realms, 352 directions, ensure that I am delivered safely back to my body and that I am not interfered with. So in those protection energies and in those protection seals, and nothing can come into your dream time, nothing can come into your chakras, nothing can come into your consciousness space, no outer energy or snake energy that's trying to get into your energy field, nothing can enter your field when you have that protection seal. So just use your Archangel Michael protection seal. Because nobody has the right to continue to come in and out of your energy field. They don't have any right to keep pulling on you. They don't have any right to keep taunting you. They don't have any right to do anything that's constant in your degrading. Nobody has the right to constantly degrade you. They don't. So really discern. There's various energies on the planet right now that are being vibrationally moved about based on their vibrational energy, where they're at. So really align with the highest energies that you can, and just know your rights. You're not, God would never ever have you continually be abused, energetically, vibrationally, mentally, emotionally. You have your legal rights. You have your spiritual rights. You have your consciousness rights. Your birthright is your multidimensional mechanisms. Nobody has the right to touch you. Nobody has the right to take from you. Nobody has the right to do anything to you that takes from you. And when you know those rights, that's your will. Nothing bypasses your will. Your will is thy word. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Thy will be done is the highest will of God, is the highest will of you. Equal measure. Thy will be done, equal measure of God, equal measure of me. So all of that is your equal measure. And so they said, of course, so they said, remember that when you get a gift activated, when your experiences are activated, so when you get a gift or a skill activated, remember, what is it called? If you have an Egyptian skill, remember, when you were say you were in an Egyptian temple and you were a healer, and because in the Egyptian temples there were various levels of your mastery. You could be an adept, which is just an entry level, and then you worked your way up to master. And those masters would teach the other levels of teachers, of masters in their schools, because every temple had a different practice. So depending on what temple you were practicing in would determine your practice of specialty, right? And everybody had a different practice of specialty, and then they would rotate based on your education. You would be sitting with a teacher. You would be sitting with, you'd do the practical, and then you would do the experimenting and all those kind of things. It was very, it was an in-depth type of temple for those different modalities, right? So if you're activating an Egyptian gift or skill, that Egyptian gift or skill, because you were in that era back then, if you will, your body was back then. It didn't have the toxins that we have now. So you have to know that when you're being activated in this level of DNA, say it's a 35% DNA activation of an Egyptian skill that you had that you're going to bring now to this 5D Earth experience, you're going to need to, again, as we said, work with the commandmentship of who you are now, so that Egyptian gift can be then leveled up to that 5D experience. Because your body in a 5D Egyptian, although it was healthier, because it was very, you lived off the land, if you will. So you're going to be, and now we have a lot more toxins in our air, and most people are just starting to work and maintain their multidimensional bodies because they're just learning and remembering, wow, I'm a multidimensional being. You used to practice this in the Egyptian timelines. You used to practice this in Atlantis or Lemurian timelines, but we've been out of that practice because we've been in that 3D separation. So as you're doing your healing, you're learning how to practice as a multidimensional being of light. You're now activating your body in equal membership too, as we said, equal measure. You're bringing those gifts forward, and although we have a bit more of a of a hindrance because of all the toxins and because there's so much more spiritual warfare now, but we do have extra help from the heavens and from the celestials and from our celestial teams and our higher selves. So work with everything that you have. Work with everything that you have, your experiences. Call in those celestial teams. And again, your recalibration chambers at night can help you sustain and maintain that, your health, especially if, depending on what your life, your soul blueprint has been. Many of you have different traumas in different parts of your multidimensional bodies. Some of it might have been mental trauma. Some of it might have been emotional trauma. Some of it might have been sexual trauma, which is then all multidimensional because they all bleed into one another. So, and again, if you're taking commandmentship of your daily ascension path, you're going to be kind of ahead of the game because you're not going to let anything kind of keep blocking up and keep piling up, if you will. But just remember that they were showing me that if you're being activated in a celestial gift or an Egyptian gift or an Atlantean gift or a Lemurian gift, you were working at different levels of your body purity, right? Your body was in different levels of purity in those times. But now we also have the benefit of online. So you can take classes online. You're being activated by healers and teachers like me online. You're getting free classes like this online. You're getting codes and activations like this online. So you have more access to stuff that back in the temple days you didn't. You had to wait for your once a week session with your temple master. So we'd have different benefits now, but we have different hindrances now. So just know that. That's why it's good to keep working on your multidimensional gifts and your multidimensional experiences. So there is a dynamic experience that we are all learning to know how and what serves us, and asking for your teams can only assist you in the equal opportunity that you're asking your gifts and your skills and you're practicing. Remember, our teams were saying that the hardest thing that they have is that we're not feeling confident enough to know that we do have these gifts and skills, and we're not practicing with them. So they wanted me to help inspire you guys. Everybody has gifts and skills, and you're meant to practice with them. Everybody has gifts and skills and talents. So have the confidence within yourself and start working with your teams every day. Where am I at? What's the most important thing that I can work with this week? So I've got those journals pages on my YouTube community page. Copy some of that stuff down in your own journal. Say, what can I work with physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that you can start working with what do you want to clear? What are you most excited about working as a gift or a talent? And so with those that you're just asking, you'll know what is within you that you're most excited about, because you'll see, if you look back on your life, you'll know the trending. You always used to have coloring or painting, or you were always excited about music. You were always excited about learning, sci-fi stuff. Those kind of things start directing you. Our vocational alignment sessions also help directing you and start funneling your gifts and your talents and your skills. For instance, one of my clients, like Angela, she has a lot of her gifts will be in multidimensional language, because she has that, and for quite some time, it could cause a lot of people a lot of great confusion, because they've got all this information in the mental realm up here, a lot of confusion in the higher chakras, because that higher chakras is how you're meant to funnel and fine tune and align, so that she can really start directing those gifts and directing her focus on how to use the higher vibrational chakras and really start honing her gifts and her skills and her talents, because those higher chakras are meant to be used in the communicatory processing or the orating processing, taking higher vibrational downloads and putting it in human words, like I do, conduits and channelers. We take higher vibrational, higher heavenly wisdoms, we bring it to an earthly experience, and then we offer it forward so that it can be grounded and used and activating those lower vibrational mindsets and mind patterns. There's always infinite heavens that we have to access. Spirit and the higher realms of the Lords of Light have chosen certain people that can have because we've prepared ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we've been chosen, our DNA and all of the things that we practice over eons, so that we can take those higher vibrational packages of information and codes and we can process it. Because again, the brain, and that's why we said earlier about anything being put in your brain and any messing that you do with your brain, whether it's black magic, whether it's negative chanting, negative conjuring, you're messing with your mental processing. That's why many people that work with the dark occults, they'll have many mental imbalances, disassociation, mental disorder, diseases, because they're forcing mental darkness. It's a mental darkness. They're forcing it. And their brain can only take so much. Their brain will be mentally unstable, go crazy. So take us back there, Spirit. What did you say? Oh yeah, the higher chakras. And so Angela, it was, clients and those that have a lot of mental capacity, and it can feel overwhelming sometimes. And so just a few simple techniques of grounding and really calling in all of your energy so that you can process bit by bit by bit by bit, so that you're not overwhelming yourself with the higher vibrational informations and wisdoms. Because the more work that Angela's been doing with us, she's able to take on more information, and she's able to then compartmentalize it so she can sort out and get excited about how she's going to present it, how she's going to express it. Because she does have a lot of upper realm gifts that she's going to start sorting out how to manifest in an expression for herself and use it as a vocation. That's what her gifts are. That's where you can step away from having to work out, what am I going to do for a job? No, you're the expression of your excitement. You're the expression that's calling in these synchronicities. Her synchronicity connect with me because I was understanding and seeing her multidimensional fields and what was going on, and all of the information that was sitting there waiting for her to download, waiting for her to integrate, waiting for her to process. So then she can direct her gifts, she can direct her intentions, she can direct her excitements and start using that and offering it to the collective and then getting paid for it. And she can be making twice as what any 3D job would pay her. Yeah, so feel free to absolutely connect with our classes. We're moved our class up to next week, next Saturday. I think it is the 14th. So we do have an Ascension class. I only suggest those that have been working with the Ascension techniques that we've been practicing because it is a fairly serious class. We like to work at a bigger, wider pace. We do have private sessions that are available. I'm taking bookings for private sessions. We don't talk about anybody else in that private session but you and your path. It's about your work with God, your work with Source, your work with Spirit. And then we align with the higher self, which is always what the path and journey is about. And so this particular show is all about the synchronization. Synchronicities you find in your life are equal to everything that you're putting out as the excitement of you. So the more excited you always are, thank you, Holy Angela. You're beautiful. And I would never worry about, you have a beautiful, beautiful future in front of you, Angela. You have a beautiful future in front of you. And you've gone through that process of learning and understanding what you were carrying, and that's when you're first awakening and not understanding the width that you have, especially in the upper realms. It's just unpacking it. And that's the anxiety that you were feeling, is just the unpacking it. That's what a lot of empaths do, a lot of really high, you're alien code breaker, Angela, because those codes that come in on an alien frequency, you can have a dream and wake up, like, that, Angela, you already know that. You're just learning how your teams are showing you, and you working in your journal, how can you start dissecting you're already getting the downloads, but you're actually unpacking the downloads. So work with your teams on how can I unpack this download and then compartmentalize it so I can understand what this means for me. They might give you symbols. So again, work with your teams. Can you give that download to me in colors and symbols? Because I really like animal symbolism. And you have a couple of websites that you go to for animal symbolisms. And then you're intuiting from your guides and from nature. So you can work with your teams in that way to only give you animal symbolisms for the first little bit until you get used to working with them on how they're giving you the downloads, how you can interpret the downloads and what that means for you. Also to know, Angela, too, that if you're working with that type of intention, what I just said to you, you can ask your teams for what does these downloads mean for me? Can you give it to me in numbers? There's the Joanne Scribe angel number website, and she has numbers all the way, I think, to 3,000. So I always, with my teams, I always get numbers because I always say, what's my highest or best message for today? They'll give me a number. So that's how I work with my teams. They give me certain symbols and certain things, so it's really quick. So you can get practice working with your guides like that, how you need it, because some people are more color oriented. Some people are more songs. You can get messages through songs, music. You can get messages through clouds. You can get messages through everything. Everything is a message because you're always sending, you're always receiving. So Angela, your role now is to really get intimate with your teams, really get intimate with your higher self, really get intimate with all the beings you're working with. Really be specific and start reducing and fine-tuning a collective of beings that you want to work with, and dissecting the information that they're sending you and what that means for you. So you can sit every day and say, what are my messages? Or because I know that you get a lot of dream downloads and stuff like that, you can take a dream from the night before and say, what is my message in this dream? And then listen, and then write down whatever comes to you. That's how you get used to working with your teams. And this is what we go through in your private sessions as well. The vocational alignment sessions, we get you really specifically working with your teams week by week by week, so that by week 4, you know exactly what Spirit is talking to you about. That's why when I get something from Spirit, I know what that means, because this is my daily work. I work with Spirit all the time. I never stop working with Spirit. Spirit is always on. So, there's always information. You just have to turn it off, because as I said before, there's times where Spirit will test you. If there's a couple in front of you, because I'm so psychic, I can hear conversations or I can see things in people's fields and I don't want to see it. I'll just say, turn it off. So I do have to have that off switch. So just know that you can do that. You're getting used to working with your teams, because we're always sending and receiving, always. We're never not sending and receiving. That's why you have to be very clear about who you are. When you know who you are, you know what you're sending and you know what you're going to get back. So again, who are you? What do you exist within? What exists within you? The 3 A's, right? Those are the acceptance, acknowledgement, and allowance of all that you are as a being. And then, so get my books that are on Amazon. My 3 books will help you go through that process, help you understand a little bit better. So Angela, I would start doing that, and start working with how to start interpreting. Yeah, interpreting all that you're getting, because you're really getting a lot of celestial, alien information. I see more alien with you, Angela. Celestial and alien are similar, but it's different. So just know that. Alien energies feel alien. They're very alien. And you have the ability to download and to communicate with alien energies. Be very specific about who you want to communicate with, right? You're an open vessel, but you absolutely have to refine and put boundaries, because you're going to be very overwhelmed if you're just taking energies from anybody who wants to talk to you, because they're really excited to be with us. They're really excited to communicate with us. Just speak with your highest, have your higher self, bring in the highest community, the highest alien community, if you will, of those that you're meant to work with first. They'll usually be your highest priority, because they're going to start preparing you for first contact. So they'll be the first ones on the list. Your guides always work in the highest potential. You know, for me, there's a couple of beings that I really like to connect with, because I'm very, very close with them intimately, and I'm close with them emotionally. So I'll ask them to come in. And sometimes my guides will bring them in first, because they know it makes my heart feel special, and it makes my heart feel at ease, and it makes my heart feel beautiful. And then there'll be those beings that really have to get a message to me. So your spirit guides are always being your gatekeeper. Your higher self is always your gatekeeper. So always ask for your higher self to gatekeep any communication with beings and aliens and celestials, so that you know that your higher self is always going to bring you the highest and benevolent beings. And then you say, how can I interpret this message today? So how to interpret your dreams every next morning. Do the work, so that you know how to communicate with your teams, and your teams know how to communicate with you. That's the team's message this week in this message. Have the confidence to know that you're working with beings, and specifically, intimately, participatory, engagement, participation, and partnership. Work with your teams. Have the confidence to start working with your teams. Ask for symbols, ask for colors, ask for numbers. Do your dream interpretation every next morning. And you're going to be surprised within 3 days to a week how much communication of interpretation you're actually receiving. And then you get to put your meaning on life. You're the only one that puts meaning on your life. And again, I always said I'm a dream interpreter. I love interpreting dreams. But just remember that you can have a dream that follows you throughout your whole lifetime. That if you have a really profound dream last week, it's going to mean something different today, because you've gone through a whole week of learning, transforming, taking in that nugget, looking at that nugget in different ways, just sitting with that nugget in different ways, interpreting that nugget from different perspectives. Because you're going to have an awakening. You're going to go through a prefrontal cortex experience. You're going to look at that dream in a totally different, higher perspective. So just know that your dreams are going to change as you do. There's never only one interpretation for any dream. And again, don't get lost in over-interpreting it either. Go with what you feel first. It's always how you feel. Your dreams are always a feeling experience. How did you feel? Always go to the feeling first. If you're in a dream and you see something red, how did you feel about that red? Was it happy or was it scary? Because your dreams helping you pull up the subconscious energies you don't have time to work with during the day. So your dreams are really good to work through your fears so you don't have to manifest big fears. You don't have to manifest your worst experience in your daily experience. You manifest them in your dreams so you can clear those energies. So that's why it's always good to work with your dreams the very next day so you can release those fears and accept, I had a fear about, losing my car. I had a fear about losing my job. Clear out those energies so that you don't have to manifest it in your daily life. They're giving you kind of precognitive warnings. So your dreams are a lot like that. They help you work through those fears, those subconscious energies. So it was working through all those fears. Yes, so if a lot of your dreams are repeats, then there's a lesson there that you're not acknowledging. So if you're having repeats of your dreams, you need to face what your dreams are showing you. So you're not facing it, you're still suppressing it. If your dreams are still bringing forward the same experience, you need to look at it from another perspective and you need to claim and you need to own it. So just having the dream and looking at the dream is not working with it. You need to actually work with that dream. What is that showing you? And you need to acknowledge it. I acknowledge my fear. I acknowledge my ego. I acknowledge I held myself back. I acknowledge I chose that. You have to face it. Your dreams are showing you, especially if it's a repeat dream. If your dream is, say if you have the things that change over time, if you have a person that always shows up in your dream, but the dream changes, but that person is kind of semi-resonant in most of your dreams, that's meaning something different. So just know that. If it's the exact same dream coming all the time, falling off a cliff, falling off a cliff, falling off a cliff, you're not facing what needs to be faced. So just go with that. Colors mean a lot in dreams. And if you have like an item, like say you have a dream about going into a kitchen and the first thing you see is a coffee cup, that is the first thing that you need to look at. What does that coffee cup symbolize? So always go with what you're drawn to first, how you feel, and then go from there and go deeper and go deeper and go deeper. Your dreams are infinite. They pull up a whole realm of stuff. Don't get lost in it. Just know when to cut it off. Say, okay, I'm satisfied with that. And then set it aside. Let go of it. Don't obsess about it. Let go about it, because the next day, 2 other days, you're going to be softening with the downloads. You're going to be softening with the integrations. You're going to have released a couple of fears because you've acknowledged it. And then you're going to move into a different consciousness level. That's how you know you're being successful in your dream work, in your subconscious work, in your shadow work. Your dreams are like your shadow work. Also, accepting your highest potential and your highest dreams, your highest capacity. Because again, remember, your success is equal to the dreams not being realized. So those are your fears. Your dreams will be about both. If you have a fear, you're not realizing your successes. If you have things that are holding you back, you're not realizing your successes. So your dreams are going to show you both. So work in that way. If this was my blockage, if this is how I felt, this is my success. Your dreams are always showing you your highest and your best. It's just up to you to perceive it and to work with it and work around it and navigate it. So again, you're going back to, what does that person mean? So there's those people that show up in your dream, that person symbolizes something for you. They symbolize a dark aspect of you or a light aspect of you. So go within it and go deeper. If you have jealous about somebody, they're showing you a shadow. Your shadow is jealousy. So work with the shadow. If that person is setting the bar high for you, you're having to reach up and say, well, that's an opportunity I can achieve that. That's a potential for me. So I like that. Thank you for showing me that. You give gratitude and appreciation. Anytime you give gratitude and appreciation, you release that from a negative energy. You're now seeing it in a positive energy. Thank you for showing up. That person will always show up to show you what you can be. You're just choosing to see it from a negative perspective because you're not feeling full of yourself. When you're full of yourself and you love yourself and you know that you're doing the best you can and you fill yourself with self-love, you're forgiving yourself, you're doing the best you can to make things right during the day. You know that you're working on self-love actions, self-love behavior, self-love environments, you're releasing negative people, then you know that you're doing the best that you can. Then that person is not going to show up in a negative way. You're going to see that person show up in a positive way. So again, people show up based on where you see yourself. If you're still in lack and you're still not liking yourself and you're still blaming everybody else for your issues, that's a negative self, and you feel jealous about everybody and you feel envious about everybody. And then that person shows up as an antagonist. They're not an antagonist. They're showing you what you can be. Celebrate them. They're one of your guides. But you haven't done the shadow work. So do the shadow work. Dreams help you do the shadow work. Work through your stuff. Divine masculines are just starting their journey right now. So celebrate it. Go slow. Don't rush through anything. Take each day, take each dream, and sit with it. What is it showing you? And then just wait. Be silent. Ask for your higher self. What is this dream showing me? And then as a fear comes forward, clear it out. I call that fear up. I call the fear up that I'm not doing enough. I call the fear up that I'm not enough. I call the fear up that I had self-rejection. No, I'm going to love myself. I honor myself. Then you affirm it with a positive. That's how you start doing the work. You're owning it. You're accepting it. You're reaffirming it. You're doing new. And then throughout the day, you're going to fill yourself with positive affirmations. So you have to do the work. Nobody gets through Ascension without doing the work. You got to do the work. That's your journaling and your daily work like Angela's been doing. That's why it helps. Do the daily work. Sit and see, what did that dream show me? Well, it showed me I had a fear. I had a fear about my expression. I was burned at the stake. It showed me that I had a fear about being my highest self because nobody understood it. It had a fear about not receiving because people were always saying I wasn't worthy of receiving. Well, who said? God wants you to receive every blessing in the multiverse. Who says you're not worthy? They want you to believe that you're not worthy of receiving, but of course you're worthy of receiving. That's all God wants you to do is receive. If you're fully open 100% all the time to receive, then you're going to be 100% open to give. That's why people that receive always give. People that are working in darkness, they're going to receive a lot of darkness. They've received what they've received in the past because of manipulation and deceit. And because of entitlement and corruption. So now they have to go and actually do the work. You have to heal those wounds. Because corruption is not going to last in 4D light, which we said on our post. Corruption won't hold up in 4D light. Every bit of corruption, every lie, every deceit, every person that's sitting in elitism will be seen. A year ago, nobody would have sent tweets of higher consciousness to Elon Musk. Higher consciousness people are getting Elon Musk to wake up. A year ago wouldn't have happened. That's how light we are. Because we're seeing around the agendas that have always been there. Billions of dollars being sent on these agendas to manipulate humanity into different ways of thought, different ways of being and herded, so that they can fit their agendas. And there will be people there will absolutely be people, if he goes through with this and it does get approved. I hope it never gets approved. If it does get approved, you better bet that he's going to have people on his bandwagon that will absolutely volunteer to get a chip put in their brain. That's how disconnected they are from spirit. And there's no judgment. But I pray for those people. Because none of it is needed. So yes. So dear lighted ones, let's do a heart activation with some light language and then we'll go because it's getting dark out. The sun has just gone down. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Calling in the beautiful archangels and beautiful Lord Metatron. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Have your nice spine nice and straight. Every breath in, call in light, the crystalline light that fills up your spine, the crystalline light that fills up your chakras. Open up your chakras with intention. I open my chakras to receive light. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And a big grateful heart allows you to receive spirit. I'm so grateful for the light that I'm receiving right now. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I call in my higher self. I call in my soul. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I call in the teams that work with me so lovingly, so benevolently, and unconditionally 24 hours a day. Your teams are always with you 24 hours a day. At nighttime, you have the commandmentship to work with your bodies, your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your soul, unconditionally 24 hours a day. At night, you're on light ships. You're recalibrating yourself. At night, you're on light ships. You're learning higher vibrational wisdoms. You're learning about different ways that Earth can be. You're learning about different potentials of your life path. You're learning about different shadows and different energies and different traumas and how to heal them. And when you come to this earth, you're being synchronized, creating synchronicities in your highest excitement of being you all new again. Every day I wake up anew. Breathe in. Every day I wake up anew. Breathe out. Your chakras are aligned. Breathe in. My chakras are aligned. My chakras are aligned. I receive light. My chakras are aligned. I receive light. I'm in alignment of my higher self. I'm in alignment of my soul. I call in the highest level of benevolence, the highest level of benevolent teams. I am in alignment with my teams. I communicate with my teams, and my teams communicate with me. I know that my reality is being synchronized to the highest excitement of who I am as a being of light. I am a being of light. I am a being of light. Light in my cells, light in my blood, light in my tissues, light in my organs. Breathe in. I accept light. I acknowledge light. I allow light. My mind is working at a higher capacity than it was yesterday. I'm aligned in light. My heart accepts light pulsations throughout creation. I am light. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe in light. I breathe in light. I breathe in light. I'm light, and breathe. I receive the codes of the Creator. I breathe, 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 breathe. I am light and I am love. I ground, 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 ground. I am light. I am love. I am light. I am love. Anamarake ke ama a e te ke shishana e te ke nanakata te kai namakata te ke ananakai namakata te ke sisiana nakata te kai te kai ai anamakata te ke namakata te ke na e amanakata te kai ama e ananaka asisiana nakata te ke shishana namaka a e te ke sisiana anamaraki te ke samanakata te ke nana a e te ke shishana na e te ka ne e a ma e te ke sia ai ma e na ai e ma te ke na e ma e na te ke sia ne ma la te ke sia ma ha te ke sia na ka na ka te ke sia na la 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 I te sia na ka lots of elementals are turning in. Thank you, Holy Spirit elemental. Take a deep breath. And just feel a beautiful open heart. Feel your heart bathe with the violet flame. Feel your heart bathe with the violet flame. The violet flame clears out any heart blockages. Just intend. Take a deep breath. I release any heart blockages. I release any heart blockages. I release any heart blockages. The violet flame bathes me and cleanses me. And just intend it. I am that I am. My fields are cleansed. My bodies are cleansed. My mind is cleansed. I am grounded. I lie to the kesha. Ama la to the kesha shada the ka. Alamana kada the kid and a kada the kan and a kada the kid and a kada the kind and a kada the kid. Halalala kada the kid and a cake. Light language offers you the recalibration of who you are at your soul. The light language goes right to the very core of who you are as a celestial, cosmic, alien, undeniably universal being. For you are that, dear lighted ones, and you have communications, you have experiences, you have understandings, you are receiving information from many different realms and different aspects of how you determine language to be, and it is up to you to discern and to interpret what your language is. Many of you have languages of sound, many of you have languages of just knowing, many of you have languages of hearing distant frequencies of sounds and ticks and vibrations, for everything within creation is a vibration, and it's up to you to determine how you want to work with your various communication gifts. For you are, many of you, all of you are communicators, no doubt about that. It's just about of you, what you're excited to sit within, what you're excited to soak within, so that you work with who you are, work with the tools of who you are, and make sure that you practice it every day. For we're always here, we're always here, we're always here. We're never out without you. We're always communicating with you. It's just up to you, delighted ones. Have the love and confidence within yourself that you are a multidimensional being, receiving energies from a higher capacity if you so choose. Take a deep breath. Alamana kadadikesha shiana kadadikain makadadikate na I eat the shamana kadadikain and kadadikain and a kadadikan. I dedicate that. Sha. Just doing some clearing through the higher frequencies. And just have the teams bathe you with holy light, just to cleanse and seal up your aura. Seal up your aura, seal up your aura, seal up your aura, so you're not going to take on any negative energies while you sleep tonight. And before you go to bed every night, just seal your aura. Just do a beautiful white light seal so that nothing disturbs you, nothing can come into your dreams, nothing can, you know, move into your chakras when you're kind of in an unconscious state. You know, there's many energies and entities that work in those dream time realms, and they do a lot of shady stuff. So just, it's always a good idea just to seal your aura so that you're completely sleeping in your consciousness and your will, as thy will be done. And it's always good just to say that, thy will be done. And so we'll let you go, dear lighted ones. I'm going to go play with the light ships now. Oh, light ships are coming out. So I love you, dear lighted ones. Our links are below. I would love any donations that you should so choose. Our links for the classes are community page on YouTube, and we wish you love and light. Work with your teams. Get excited. Synchronicities are everywhere. We love you. Rainbow kisses.